it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi, but as always, I have my co-host here. It's a live audience day. Hello. We have a full house today.
Yo, yo, yo.
YK Angel Build. I know you always like the audience.
Yo, yo. I see some people are flying with me in orange there. Yo.
This is your first audience since you got back, right?
No, last week.
Okay, cool. How you doing, YK? Looking nice and
orange. I'm fine. I'm very jealous of Nima, actually.
Why?
Do you know this girl speaks like 3-4 languages?
Yeah,
she speaks English, she speaks Yoruba, speaks her oral language, and she speaks Legalese.
It's a language.
Legalese.
A bit of Legalese.
You know, so Legalese is
so all the maxims and
all the law. So she was just going on this morning in oral language. I was saying,
language.
See this girl. Me, I'm struggling with Yoruba and English.
Nima, how you doing?
Thank you. I'm very fine, Morayo. I'm speaking at Unilag today at the Faculty of Law. They want to know how I cope with law practice and all that, so we'll be talking to them.
It has nothing to do with hijab, because your matter is always a hijab.
No, it's most likely the hijab because it's a Muslim law students, yes.
I'm waiting for the day you tell me you're going to speak, just to speak.
Have you noticed something about her? She has 2 things that she says. I want to greet this person, or this person has died, or something.
Me, I'm a real person. I'm down to earth. I'm grateful to God for life, but things are happening. So we're crossing Apapa to the expressway down here.
We'll talk about Papa. Don't worry, it's on the front pages. Don't worry, calm down. I know your blood is boiling on that matter.
I'm telling you.
How you doing, Mariam?
Fine. I'm especially happy to be here today, Wednesday. I haven't been on a Wednesday show in a month or more than. Yes, all the time you were away. So I'm happy to be back. Thank you. So
you noticed Mr. Daniels isn't here?
Yes, Mr. Daniel is not here. First thing I noticed, what happened to Mr. Daniel?
I even noticed last week. I was asking them.
Mr. Daniels.
Mr. Daniel, I hope you're fine. Please let us know how you're doing.
Now, for those that don't know Mr. Daniels, he's one of our regular member of the audience. He's always here. He's been here from day one. He's always here, and so we just noticed that last week he wasn't here. So we thought it was just a one-off.
Even the week before, he wasn't here because I was watching the show and he wasn't here.
No, he was here. I think he was here.
He wasn't.
Anyways, hopefully he's doing well.
Tabby.
He's ill.
Okay,
so we have regulars.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we have some first-timers in the building. Anybody here for the first time? Yay! Nice. Good to have you on the show. So good to have you on the show.
And you're looking beautiful and handsome. Beautiful and handsome.
So it's midweek, and so it's summertime. Kids are doing summer school. I'm excited your kids are doing coding.
Yes, my son is.
I don't even know.
I'm registered him for coding. But there's something you said, equestrian, horse riding.
Yeah,
you mentioned one time.
Not
I would
too far
like
away.
For my kids to do that.
It's towards that area.
Look up there.
Yeah, I need to go there. I'd like for the kids to do something different.
Me, I don't know. All those ones are irregular. I don't do them. Go and ride horse. If I fall down, what will I say happened to me?
And then swimming. The children
there must be safety measures put in place.
Which safety measure? If horse is an animal.
That's why African children don't do anything. Oyinbo children do everything.
I say it's for Oyinbo game.
Okay, instead of us riding, we should be teaching our
African
children swimming. I think it's more important.
Swimming is important.
Because now that there are floods
everywhere.
Honestly, scary stories everywhere.
I wanted to buy a wig, and so the person that's going to make my wig sent me the amount of the wig, and then the school people send me. I say summer school wig.
Summer school.
I just paid summer school. So now, but it's just money, man.
Yeah, we'll just manage the wig, no problem.
We'll manage the wig for another month. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're starting with the Punch. 2019 polls to cost 242 billion naira. Buhari tells National Assembly. Picture here of Nima's area. Trucks at Igomu on Lagos Badagry Expressway. Alleged forgery. No complaint against Adeosun, says police. Protest as Assembly serves Imo Deputy Governor impeachment notice. Varsity student found dead in well after SARS invaded hostel. Metering. You're wrong, power distributors tell Fashola. Osun West rejects direct primary to pick APC governorship candidate. FG, Ethiopian Airlines in talks over national carrier. My wife and I swam through the flood. Unfortunately, my children couldn't make it, says Katsina victim. And Ekiti Assembly rejects poll results, adjourns till October. So this young boy that was killed, I think it was Ibrahim,
Saliu Haruna was a student of Ambrose Ali University in Epoma. So SARS operatives stormed their hostel. And of course, students took off. He was washing his clothes at the time that SARS stormed the hostel. And that was Monday. And they couldn't find him after, everybody went back to normal. And they found him yesterday in a well, and he had died. A dry well.
Must have fallen into the well.
It must seem like he had fallen into the well while he was trying to run away.
But the question we have to ask, what were they doing in his school?
Why would they storm
Police are supposed to have a warrant.
The circumstance of hostel in Epoma is such that they have hostels outside school most times. So it's most likely the surrounding environment around school that they raided. But then again, why
they're supposed to have a warrant?
Trigger-happy policemen causing this kind of deaths, avoidable deaths like this. Right. The other story the man, the witness, one of the victims from the flood in Katsina, who said his house was completely taken over by water. He and his wife could swim, but the 7- and 3-year-old children couldn't. And so they lost them. They were washed away by the flood. Yes, the vice president was actually in Katsina State yesterday. He was there with the governor and was trying to say they will find whatever compensation they can give to the families, they will give. But hopefully they will ensure it doesn't happen again. I
hope that while they are there, while they're in Katsina, they are remembering that Abeokuta,
they mentioned it too.
Edo State.
Exactly.
A little girl. She was, I think, pulled out of her mother's. Mother was trying to save her in Edo State. Yes.
So this issue of flood, obviously, I mean, this is the rain season. So obviously, we're going to have more of this kind of thing. So hopefully, we can get the drainages cleared. Moving on very quickly now to Vanguard. Pro-restructuring rally. Why we stopped South. Middle Belt leaders trip to Benue. The Nigerian Air Force saying that the plane was faulty. They replaced the plane, but the new plane they replaced it didn't have request for landing. Makurdi Airport is a military coordinating base for Operation Wellstroke. Urges politicians not to drag NAF into their partisan politics. Yes. Third mainland bridge to be shut for just 3 days, not 24 months, says Fashola. Discos are technically insolvent, says BPE. Nigeria earns 34 trillion from oil in 6 years. Ekiti marred by irregularities and will need 242 billion for 2019 elections, says Buhari. We'll take the Buhari story, the election.
I will take the picture story.
The picture story. Go ahead. Let me give you the floor for this one.
The Osho-Apapa Expressway has defied all solutions and is being militarized. I say that with all sense of responsibility because the tankers are parked irresponsibly everywhere, and the only sense of authority you see is the military men trying to force commuters to use the alternative ways. So this morning, before you get to Mautu, it's locked down. There's no way to climb up the bridge to Osho. So I did it one way and it was legal. Everybody's doing what we were driving crazily.
Are you serious?
And it's blocked now on the Osho-Apapa Expressway. Now it's blocked all the way. Usually one way starts at Celeb bus stop, but one way started this morning from Isolo bridge.
Oh my goodness.
So it's worse, blocked all the way. That it's defied all solution. There's no way. I don't know whether I should go home through that route this morning, but it's wrong.
What are the options?
We have laws, we have governments. Things can't continue to work like this. I can't imagine how you spend money that you make from such proceeds, because the businessmen who own these containers and tankers will spend this money on their children. If you can imagine the costs that people rain on them, trekking on that road.
Imagine that.
You can't carry your car. There's no way. I suffered it on Monday and thought, okay, I would leave much earlier today. But this morning, I can't even get to work.
Can I just, because I read the story and some of the trailer drivers said they've been there for 2 weeks. It's not, and what they were saying is that it's not the traffic at the port, it is the roads causing this traffic. But I know that these same trailers are on the Ikorodu road, on the bridge. So it must be the port. It can't be just the bad road.
All the way. I mean, we need to find a last solution.
It's everywhere.
So we'll try to get somebody from the Lagos State government to help us, give us an update on what they're doing concerning this.
But I don't think Lagos State have the power.
Yeah, but you see, they have, Lagos State keeps saying that they have a place for them to go and park. That's where that should be their waiting area, not the road. So let's find out what's going. They can't refuse anymore because we need them to go and park there.
Sanity. The accidents, you can't
Let's move on to Daily Sun. 2019 polls. FG seeks approval for 242 billion naira for elections. Hell on Apapa Oshodi Expressway, I think we talked about that already. Court-martial sentences soldiers to death and jail terms. Ekiti election falls below global standards, says observers. Impeachment. Imo deputy governor supporters shut down Owerri. Okay, so let's take the major headline. Or should we take the court-martial story? I have that story. Okay. They were sentenced to death because I guess this was like a statement to both local and international community that, listen, we're not supporting human rights against abuses. The charges were, I think, manslaughter, arson, I think, and a few others, and murder, yes. So these soldiers that were found guilty have been sentenced to death, and some of them will have jail terms. So just demonstrate that they actually against all those who are committing all these crimes. The military is against all these crimes.
And the court-martials
medicine after death,
have a jurisdiction of a high court.
Did anybody read the story about the riots, the protests in Owerri?
No, I didn't read that story. But let's take the
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
They're protesting against Okorocha, that he's he's making it a family requisite. Is that he's just because the deputy governor is not supporting his yes,
also his successor,
his brother-in-law, so they want to now impeach him. And they are protesting that, what has he done? You've said before that he was the best governor, he was the best deputy. Now because he's not supporting your in-law,
they served him and he prepared notice. Let's see how the drama plays.
Let's move very quickly to Nigerian Tribune 2019 elections. FG to spend 242 billion. Buhari writes Senate. Most of the other story. My wife aids being harassed by security operatives, says Fayose. Dasuki court serves warrant of release on DSS and AGF. And the other stories, I think we're already taking that. But let's talk about the federal government asking for 242 billion, of which I think 164 billion is supposed to be a supplementary budget to be presented for this year, and the balance will be added to 2019 budget. And that's in addition to the current, I think, 34 billion that the INEC already has from this year's budget. So why are they asking for more money? Who has that story?
Okay, they asked that certain areas of the past budget be read into this budget extension, and one of the purposes is to prepare for the elections in 2019. I don't have a breakdown. We are hoping to get a breakdown of why they need this money. But
so
you know, elections is a serious business.
Right. We'll follow that story and see what they need the money for.
It's actually a breakdown.
Let's take the Dasuki story very quickly.
So Dasuki is in the news again. His lawyer representing him, son Ahmed Raji, he's asking that the federal government and DSS should please, in the name of God, comply with court orders. The court had asked for him to be released since July 2nd, and nothing has been done about his release.
Bail has been signed. He's met his bail
They said they've met all bail conditions.
The judge has signed
no
it,
reason
and
for him
the next thing is usually for the whoever is.
Since our president is in The Hague, saying human rights, this and this and that, hopefully he will listen
and release that.
Because, and I hope The Hague they are listening to see that they are not releasing these people, even when they meet their...
It's most likely.
But YK, when we have things like this, like if it was China, I just feel that every country should have a sort of democracy that works for him. This is someone that has done...
China?
No, I'm saying like in China, when people in government do such a bad thing, they immediately take care of them and send them to jail and lock them up.
After a conviction. No. The matter has only been first hearing, Miriam. He's only been heard first, and he has been granted bail too many times to even be mentioned. Now they've not had a proper trial, no conviction on all counts.
Okay, try him and
they should try him and convict him when they keep him.
We have to run up, unfortunately, but let's
obviously they don't have enough evidence.
Let's quickly take this day. Buhari at ICC promises to conduct credible violence-free polls in 2019. While holding him to that promise, Katsina flood death toll hits 58. And Disco's FG light on power generation capacity. Okay, that's all we can take on front page review. Interesting times. Let's go on a break. When we come back, what's hot? Banky W is with this SUV. And later we'll discuss entrepreneurship. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
There is a trending video of two women mocking the Range Rover SUV Banky W and his wife Adesua were driving. The women took a video mocking the couple, saying they only know how to form on social media, but they are driving an inexpensive car. However, Banky Wellington has responded that that is actually a 2008 Range Rover Sport, and it's currently for sale for the highest bidder. Now, what are your views on the fact that young people seem to be very materialistic, or is it that our celebrities are portraying a lifestyle of opulence and glam when it's really not there? It's your view. Call us on 070-806-6801. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. For those of you who are on social media, you have an idea what the story is about. And people are saying that why did Banky W take so much time to respond to these people? But if we look at both sides of the story, yes, Banky's life, we all saw the wedding, the fun, the Cinderella story. We're happy for them. And then these clowns or these young ladies saw him at the supermarket, saw him, recorded him in an SUV, and they're calling him out. Do they have, what's their business? I would ask.
Really, what's their business? That's the question.
First of all, they don't have any right to call anybody out for the sort of cars that they drive. You know, Falls in his song, he said, "This is Nigeria. You're calling me out for whether my Gucci is fake or not, and you don't even have a wristwatch." That is our Nigerian mentality. We like to call people out for their, you know, material things. Oh, he's not rich. How much? You know, you talk to someone, the first thing the person says to you is, "How much do you have, sir?" Exactly. You know, it's about what
the same way they're calling out on shoe for no NYC. Half of them, their results are fake. their results are fake. Okay, but let's go back.
I just want to say, you see, where I fault Banky W is even replying them at all.
Exactly.
He should never have even
if he must have, it should have been a shorter clip.
No, he shouldn't have even replied. You see, I do some things. I don't respond to negative. If it disturbs me too much, I just delete you. Exactly. I don't want to know. Say what you like about me. It's not your, it's my life. Now, these are our celebrities. They too are playing to the gallery. You have an expensive wedding in Dubai, then you say, they bought me Prado. You are the people giving. If you don't start living a genuine life, you will continue to corrupt these young children.
I live a genuine life. I had an accident in 2016 December, and I lost my car. I had a car problem till February, borrowing cars till I had to buy a very, very old car. So I drove my car to my brother's office around the Etebe's place, and this guy, a vendor selling food, walked up to my car and said, someone recognized me and said, "Now, show me this. See the car you're driving." I have just one reply. Even the people I carry in the car will say sometimes, because he leaks, he has door function, he breaks down at Oshodi, he does every terrible thing you could imagine. And my husband was always embarrassed by the car I was using, but I used to tell him, I said, "Bomila Shiri." I called that car, I gave it a name, Bomila Shiri. Because if I had to borrow someone's car, that's more of an embarrassment. I had to steal. So my dignity was protected by that car, no matter where it breaks down.
See, but you didn't go and be replying anybody on social media.
I used to tell them, I said, "Na borrow na be shame. Stealing na be shame. I'm fine."
I
used to say that. So I would have loved a small clip.
Up the issue of values, because it's easy for us to say, "Oh yeah," but we all have these things in us, and it's difficult. It's a daily battle. I was telling YK the other day, confidentially, that I got a gift. Till now, I've not been able to wear that gift. Not because it's a bad gift, but I see the gift. Yes, the gift itself can pay my rent. If I want that gift can pay my rent. I'm so uncomfortable because head to toe, it be up 10K that I'm wearing. I'll not carry a bag that can pay my rent. I'm wondering, so it's so difficult because I don't want to live that lifestyle. Not because it's a bad thing, but it's just that I cannot reconcile. I'm not going to portray, "Oh, I have this." I can't afford it. It was a gift.
For some that can afford
it.
I
told her that me, I can help her.
Why they took me shopping once?
I can help her. I can
carry that bag. Why and Jumoke took me shopping once? For my birthday in 2016, I No, 2017, my birthday, and they took me shopping. They wanted me to buy a bag. The first one I picked, it was 28,000. I was like, it's too expensive. And then we picked it. Then so I said, this one is fine. We checked it. It was 38. I said, okay, this one is too expensive. The next one was 40. I said, okay. That's how I didn't get a gift in 2017. Because I had this mentality that you have. Maybe I would have just picked it and go and look for somewhere to sell it. But the truth is that what Moran is saying, wait. The reality is that, the reality is that there are too many people in need. I've been trying to raise just 30,000 for a woman's rent. As I'm talking to you now, she's sleeping in the rains with her children, 5 of them. Every day I wake up thinking about her, and I see her missed call. Right. She thinks I'm not thinking about her. So if I had such an opportunity, let me just of course I'll come to Miriam. Let me drive on the point I was trying to make by raising that example. Is that a lot of celebrities out there feel the pressure that I must live up to a certain standard. Yes. You don't really have to. I am trying to consciously stay within my means. Yes, I am on TV. It doesn't mean that I have billions of naira in my account. Exactly. So I will stay within my salary means. I won't go and drive a Range that I cannot afford. I won't go and live in Lekki just to say, oh, I'm on TV. No, I will stay within my means.
But that is concerning... Sorry, Miriam.
Okay.
Everybody wants to live on the island.
On the island.
Yes, Miriam.
You know, concerning these entertainers, right? They have to have this lifestyle because people want to see that other people are attracted. People are attracted to beautiful people. You know, they need to see that people are looking beautiful, that they have a lot of money, that they are spending money. Somehow we like to live vicariously through them. Oh, see them traveling to Dubai. You've never been to Dubai, but you know all the cities because they have said, you know, where they've been. You've never been to, you know, to Europe. You don't drive some cars, but you know the names, you know the colors because of these people. So they feel, yes, and it's part of their job, and that's how they get their money, that if they have this facade that they have, that they are wealthy and rich and beautiful.
So we've established that fact. But what is wrong with the celebrity driving a car that is not flashy?
Then you don't have followers now. They will not follow you.
Followers. Listen, let me lecture you. Macron didn't come to visit all the celebrities living on the island, though. He came to see us at Alagbole. Let me just tell you that.
My mother even said, you know, they helped us repair our shrine that wasn't even...
Oh, because he was coming.
If we had just said that we were, his shrine is in Alagbole, all that road, all of you that live in Alagbole, they would have helped us tie it too.
You see? So sometimes what is important is a good name.
He went to Yaba.
What is important is a good name. Pedigree. That's what is important. I like the fact that Banky said, we planned and saved up for our house. That's why we think a new car is not necessary.
Pause for a second. There was a comment that saying, oh, you went to Dubai. Oh, you went to this. You know, so you had not even saved money.
You know, the comment was like, oh, we planned, we decided not to buy a car because we have not bought a house yet. So people are like, you did not buy a house and you were traveling to Dubai, to Europe, to everywhere for wedding. Dubai tourism, why didn't you use that money to buy a house?
Dubai tourism, whatever. Endorsed Banky and his wife to Dubai. They endorsed the movie, whatever they had, to Dubai. So you will see it is Samsung Promotions taking him around the world. He's working and enjoying it. That's different.
It's perks of his office.
Yes. We know some people, among them, the entertainers, who go to Dubai and they can't afford it.
Let's take this call before we round up. Morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, ladies and the audience.
Good morning.
In Nigeria at the moment is that, you know, the reality is juvenile delinquency is knowing the value, the price of everything and the value of nothing. We have totally misplaced our priorities, and the children are only emulating the people that they see ahead of them.
Thank you.
People steal money to acquire things, material things that will totally rot away over time.
All right.
And okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
They wear gold chains, thick gold chains that can buy the house that they are looking for.
Not a dog.
See, do you know how much they sell that gold? All those gold, they are millions. Hey, I asked one thing. Do you know how much they say? One chain like this is 4.5 million. I looked at them, I said, you mean 4.5 million, I will die. Amraba will not come and collect it from me.
You have body.
Let's take some tweets for a round up.
I'm saying, I like making fools of Nigerians. I dress down. He lives in the UK, so that they'll look down on me. Many software engineers, especially in Google, made money in software and would enjoy making fools of arrogant people. Madame Kaur says, ignorance never excuses stupidity. Most young Nigerians today don't know that Range Rover model is vintage. I mean, cost more if a collector wanted it. Nigerian entertainment business promotes wealth, glam, and mostly used in their work and not real.
Yes, let's go on a break. Songs and everything.
Let's go on a break. So hopefully these young people that recorded Banky W, they can learn some tips in the next segment on how to become proper entrepreneurs.
Yes, so
and stop
make their own money.
Stalking Banky W all over the place. Stay with us.
Mariah, the shade.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the value of an entrepreneur in the progress of a nation cannot be overlooked. Now the question is, how can young entrepreneurs be more engaged going forward in this new economy? Joining us on the show is a social entrepreneur and the CEO of the Still Deeper UK Seun David Onamusi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, you heard our conversation earlier concerning young people, materialism, the fact that we seem to have misplaced our priorities. Okay. Entrepreneurship is important, we understand that. In your work, helping young people find the steps in entrepreneurship, what have you seen, what have you observed, and where do you think we are, and how can we get better in entrepreneurship?
So, in the Nigerian context, one of the biggest challenges that we have is that we have people going into business for the wrong reason. And those who are in business, for example, some of them have spent years kind of doing petty trading. And in essence, they don't even upgrade their knowledge. They don't have that level of knowledge to be able to compete internationally. So the biggest challenge is, from educational perspective, understanding what entrepreneurship is all about, and also the motive of going into business. You can start from, okay, well, I'm going into business to survive, but your business itself cannot survive if that's the motive. Most organizations have to move beyond just financial or profit making to actually having a purpose behind the business. Microsoft, for example, years ago had $56 billion in an account just sitting, doing absolutely nothing. That means Bill Gates at the time could have sat down, retired, and be living his life whatsoever if his purpose was all about the money. But he made sure that he said, you know what, I want to provide computers for everybody. I want to make sure technology is available to everybody to be able to do stuff. And that in itself is a purpose-driven business.
I don't like us, and I never like going that far to Bill Gates or Microsoft, because these are international companies that they've obviously done well, but sometimes it's always totally different climates in Nigeria. Bringing it home a bit, how do we identify? Because a lot of young people are there, they're sewing, they're making clothes, they're doing jewelry, they're doing fruit juices, they're doing, just like you said, for survival. But how do we identify what we can provide, like Microsoft did, identify a problem to solve? How do we identify that thing that we can become, that can become monetary gain in future?
Good question. Now, I think most of it has to start from the mindset of entrepreneurs. The statistics makes it clear, and it's the same thing in Nigeria. 50% of businesses will fail in their first 5 years of starting. And most of those businesses that fail on different reasons. Number one is, what's the purpose behind going into business? Because if you're only driven by the money, solely, you would ignore customer service. Because it doesn't matter to you. As long as people are making money and you're making money, it doesn't matter to you. And you cannot survive. You cannot survive. 70% of businesses fail in the first 10 years. So that kicks it up to 70%. So if you really want to, in that sense, do more as a sewing business, understand the value you're providing to people. You're making sure people are comfortable. They're not walking around naked. You're not just sewing clothes. Because by the time you understand that you're making people comfortable, you make sure your stitching is perfect. You make sure that all those things are there. And you're also thinking about your customer.
Yes, Nima.
So in Nigeria, when you talk about entrepreneurship, people misunderstand and think just to have a shop or provide a service and do something. A lot of young Nigerians are learning trade. Most of the Easterners, they call it learning trade.
Yes.
Some people leave their bosses and do better than their bosses. Help me put it in perspective. How does learning trade, what is the winning factor for those who can turn it into a more successful business than their bosses, and this learning trade mentality? Because everybody, when you go to the market, are doing one form of trading or the other, and that's entrepreneurship for them. So what was the winning factor for those of them who's made a bigger success of it than their bosses?
So when it comes to learning trade, you know, if somebody is saying that I'm going into, you know, a business to just go and learn the trade and I'll go veer off on my own, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's, in essence, you're continuing what somebody else is doing, or you're probably doing better. That's absolutely fine. But the business owner themselves, right, I think you need to start providing much more for the people working for you. And that way you can have longevity in the people that stay within your business for much longer. And then if you're actually moving to learning trade, you have to move away from the mindset of, as we call it in Yoruba, karakata. You know, you can't just think from a perspective of, you know, you're just doing petty trading, because you will, in essence, there are more people that can do that. You want to make sure that you move your business from just petty trading and upgrade your knowledge. Go to conferences, go to seminars, go to those places where you can actually get more information.
But I wanted the audience, I know there are lots of entrepreneurs in our audience, so I would like to find out from you how you started, what made you start, and what's your purpose, as he said, of going into the business. But let me come to Mariam first. So get those answers ready, I'll come to you. Yes, Mariam.
Okay, my question is, in Nigeria, we have a lot of these subsistence entrepreneurs. So we don't take it from, you know, the small business to the big businesses like Microsoft and Facebook that you have. And I do not think it's only because Nigerians do not have a purpose or do not have the right reason for starting the business. I just think that the climate does not encourage it. So how does someone who has a purpose, who has good reason to start business, how does a person move from subsistence entrepreneurship to big business?
Because you have to remember that everybody in Nigeria is survival.
Yes.
Survival is the name of the game.
I understand.
Exactly.
So let me also put something clear. When we talk about SMEs, they're only a small percentage of large organizations. Zero if you want to say you're a small business. If you employ between 100 and below, you're a small business, according to definition of small business.
Okay.
If you actually employ above 100 to 900, you are medium size.
Okay.
By that nature, 90% of businesses in Nigeria are small to medium size,
Yes.
even the banks.
Yes.
So don't, you know, feel in essence that, oh, you're not the big business. No, that's not big business. Okay. Large businesses are 1,000 and above, and there are only a few of them. So let's make that very clear.
Okay.
Now,
can you give me one example of a big business in Nigeria?
Large business. Dangote.
You have the like of
Dangote,
Dangote.
yeah.
You definitely have the like of Dangote. So, to your question that, you know, how you have that purpose. Now, I also advocate that the government needs to do much more. There's no way, no country grows beyond the support they give SMEs. No country in the world grows beyond that. Right. So definitely a large percentage of the work needs to go to the government. The government needs to provide facilities better for people. It's easier for me to go and take a loan to travel to the UK from a bank in Nigeria than to actually go and take a loan to start a business.
Imagine that. All right.
You mean they will give you a loan to travel to London?
Education.
I better go and borrow money.
Okay, but you see, I started, I
was
looking for a side business, not because I needed it, but because I just felt that they always say have multiple streams of income. So I found somebody gave me tiger nut milk. I liked it. I said, let me learn how to do it. I learned it, and I started making it. And then it was exciting. But at some point, I realized that I'm putting on the generator all day because I need to keep it, because it's very sensitive. It gets spoiled easily. And sometimes I'm having a situation whereby I have to drive to far corners of Lagos State just to deliver. It's a bit stressful, and I have my own primary responsibility. So sometimes when you say about motive, it's hard to sustain a business, because if I had power easily, I say I'm buying generator, I'm buying fuel constantly every week just to keep that thing not.
So the profit is going on the
diesel. And I'm
petrol.
paying. And sometimes it's not encouraging for a Nigerian to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. It's really, really frustrating sometimes. I'm almost giving up, but I'm trying just to stay alive, because I'm trying to encourage people out there to get. So for people like me that are struggling, is it because of the purpose is not right, or how do I sustain that kind of business?
You don't believe she's struggling, Abby?
You definitely don't look like you're struggling. You know, and I do not belittle the challenges that we face here. I've done business in Nigeria for years. I understand the challenges. And in essence, I'm not saying that it's only about purpose. I'm saying starting with a purpose is very important, because that will keep you sustainable. Now, you have to start then looking at innovative ways. Perhaps there's some businesses that are more thriving in Nigeria, for example. Technology businesses are thriving more because, in essence, all you need is a laptop and your phone for most of it, so most of this work. So you can do that. For power things, maybe the government wants us to go back to some archaic way to use salt to be preserving our things. But definitely that's beyond our power. There's nothing we can use. We can start looking at solar energy and start doing, there's some solar panels that you can do.
Let me tell you about solar energy. If you don't have NEPA to charge the battery of the solar, nothing for you. I am telling you,
it's true.
The solar comes with battery. Don't mind them. When they tell you solar, you think you just go and put the panel outside. You say,
let's go on a break.
I know who has it.
When we come back, we'll talk to the entrepreneurs in our audience. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So I know we have lots of entrepreneurs in our audience. Let's get a few questions from you. Go ahead, please.
I'm into various things, but I want to speak on Zobo production. I'm into Zobo production. The challenges, I want to speak with challenges first that I have. It's like Mariah said, preservation, because there is no light. And I went into this production because we're trying to deviate from other drinks to natural drink. Right. But then you cannot compete with the other ones because it can stay for a period of time, which is part of what we are trying to take away to go into natural drink. But because there is no power, how do you sustain this? It means you will be forced to go into what will make it sustain itself, which is not encouraging the main purpose of going into this natural drink, which is one. Then, those of us that are starting small, the SME, to me, I feel, has not created a very good platform to sustain us, because the demand you are asking for, if you have it, you would have gone higher than what you are doing right now. Like this Zobo production, the end product for you to be given a NAFDAC number is to have a factory. And getting a factory, you know what it means.
Right. Okay.
So they should create a way for us to strive through.
So somebody praised him, Zobo, in response to her question. How, looking for even something to preserve. You've told us NEPA is beyond our control. But in your response to her, what would you advise her to do?
Waterworks too is beyond our control, though.
So I would like to know your your distribution network and the structure of your business. Because I know, in essence, if you're talking about Zobo, for example, you have the organic content to what you're talking about. So it's natural drink. So if I understand your distribution network, I will be able to propose another way of actually overcoming that challenge. So for example, if you have multiple distribution networks, where are you selling to? Who are the people who are carrying it? Who are your carriers in terms of the travel time between your factory, which might be your house, to actually the destination? Because you might be able to work around that power and shorten the lead time that you have between production and actually selling it.
Right, fantastic. Okay, let's take the next question, please. Go ahead.
Mine is a comment. Whatever you want to do in life, you must have a passion. If you're going into business, you must be passionate about the business. Why most businesses fail in Nigeria is that people go to business because other people are making money. But when you are passionate about whatever you do, passion brings innovation and it also brings the money. So if you are passionate with what you do, either there is light or there is no light, along the line, as long as you are patient in that business, you are focused, you will surely get to the...
Thank you very much, sir. Let me come to this issue. This word passion has been used so many times. And for me, I'm tired of hearing that word passion. You have to be passionate. What the heck does passionate mean? Especially because that passion would not bring light.
It will not.
Passion would not bring the resources, will not bring the money. So this issue of passion, help us put it in proper perspective.
So it's a popular school of thought to believe that passion is the answer to everything to survive in business, but it's not the truth. It's not the full truth. Passion in itself, right, is not going to sustain your business. Yes, you must be passionate about what you're going into, but you can actually succeed in something you're not passionate about if, in essence, you understand the working around. So I might not be passionate about Uber driving, for example, or logistics business, but I'm passionate about people. And then I employ people and I actually give to those people and I ensure that I, develop them and I give myself to them. And then they run my Uber business, which grows into a bigger logistics company. So passion can be overestimated in terms of the business, the entity of the business. You have to understand that whatever sustains your business, innovation is very, very important. And you can be passionate and passionate for the wrong reason. I might be passionate about drumming, but passion in itself is not the same thing as skill.
Right. Fantastic. Let me take one more question from the audience and I'll come to the
It's about passion.
Passion is good.
It's about sense.
No. Let's take one more comment, please. Go ahead. One more comment, please. Go ahead.
My name is Christy. I discovered I was selling it. I was into clothing. I started with 6,000 initially. I discovered at the time I was growing up to 300,000. So after some times, I discovered the money was, when you take to people, when I'm doing a business, small business, you take to people, there is no permanent location. You take to company and all that. Then you discover that your money, when you say to person today, tell you to come back tomorrow, tell you to come back next month. Then you discover what you said 6,000, they give you 3,000. Then you go again 1,000. You discover that the money is going down. Then how am I going to cope with it?
Fantastic question. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes.
So one thing that small businesses need to start doing is have payment structures and make sure that you have a payment structure. So for example, if you have 50% flat, you know what, you deposit 50% to get your job started. You already know that it only costs you 25 or 35% of your total cost to make the product. So either which way, if they don't pay you the rest of the 50%, you're already covered. You want to make sure you never ever lose money. That's a principle in business. So if you're going to do that, your customer understand that. Take it or leave it.
Right.
And they would appreciate you for that. If you're going to do layover, as they call it in Obodo Imbo, where you just come here, you say, I'll hold it for you. I'll hold it for you, but you are not taking that product until you pay.
Yes.
Right.
At least pay the deposit that covers the cost to me.
Right.
That's a way to actually start.
Most people in their shop, they say, no credit today.
Call tomorrow.
Unfortunately, goodness, time gone so fast. We have to wrap up. But I think this is an important topic. And we might have to redo it again, where it's going to be full question Q&A for our audience and our experts, because people are entrepreneurs out there and they need help. So we'll bring you back.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll get a full QA, 20 minutes, go back and forth and ask questions. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Come back tomorrow.